Podcast number 199. Will I have some type of celebration when I get to episode 200, which will be next week? Nope, will not happen. We are 1 week out. This Thursday will be 1 week out from Chia's show. As I said, again, it's the Chicago Pro, Tinley Park Convention Center. Her first show will be Thursday. Then we have the other one on Saturday. So I suggest you get your tickets. Come on out and support her. Yell, holler, have a good time. So, I definitely invite everybody to come out and support. All right. What else is going on? Oh, today is a very difficult day that we're fighting through. We got the news this morning that Chia lost her father, which he had been fighting cancer, been through a lot of pain, hanging on. Chia was supposed to go back in August, which she was going to see him then. I guess he fought as long as he could. So condolences go out to her. It's very, very difficult. Her and her father was really close. So I'm asking everybody to send your condolences to Figure Prodigy, Figure Prodigy, Prody. It's her website, www.figureprodigy.com. So trying to pick her spirits up. She's in a good mood, but I know it's difficult. So I'm asking everybody to do that. Also, what I wanted to cover in this podcast is that over the weekend, we went down to the north side of Chicago to see a great motivational speaker, Jocko Wilkins, who has a podcast. He's a very good speaker. We went to go take a look at that and listen to that, which was really good. But what it made me think about as we were riding down there is our great city of Chicago. I don't believe there's a more beautiful city. I've been to a lot of different cities, and I don't believe that there's a more beautiful place to be in the summertime than Chicago. Yes, we have our problems, crime, a lot of crime, but also it's probably one of the most beautiful places, the lakeshore skyline, that you'll ever see in your life. So in being able to ride down there and being able to relive that and the memories and everything, I grew up in this city. I said that I may one day get a home in another city, but I will never move from Chicago. I did it once before. I was around 19 years old. I moved to Washington, D.C. for about a year. And from that experience, I had made the decision. I will never leave Chicago again. I will never move. I will never stay away from Chicago. It's the city I love. It's the city that taught me a lot. So that's what that is. So people, do you plan on moving? No, I plan on never moving from Chicago. I don't care what it gets to. We moved out to the suburbs about 15 to 18 years ago. Well, maybe longer than that, maybe 20. But my biggest lessons were being taught, born and raised on the south side of Chicago in Inglewood, which is still one of the most violent parts and poor parts of Chicago. But I would not, if I could do it all over again, I would choose no other place. I wouldn't choose no other way than to learn and go through the things that I went through. I grew up gang banging, running streets, didn't go to high school, didn't go to college, lived that street life for a very long time. It taught me a lot, and I don't regret not 1 second of it. Even though, it comes with all the violence and everything, but it really, really taught me a lot. So, for so long, being raised in Chicago, especially the lifestyle that I lived, that I came up on, you were taught never to go out of your neighborhood, regarding no matter what. It could mean death. So we were confined to growing up on the streets of Inglewood. Within a certain radius, I had never seen downtown or any other part until later in my life, in my 20s. Other than that, I stayed in my neighborhood. I stayed where it was safe to me. I rarely ever ventured out of my neighborhood. We could, from where we grew up, you could see the Sears Tower. It's called some other shit now, but to us, it's the Sears Tower, and it will always be the Sears Tower. It's called Willis Tower, but it's Sears Tower, and it will always be called Sears Tower. And we grew up in the shadow of seeing that. And the thing about Chicago, different sides of where you're raised gives you different experiences, and it dictates a different outcome of your life. My first wife grew up right across the street from me in Inglewood, but yet, because I chose the path that I did, her life turned out drastically different than mine. And I went through all the hard knocks, but, after we left downtown, we went up north, the Lakeview area where my stepson lives. He has an apartment up there, and it's just absolutely gorgeous apartment, absolutely great area, a lot of gay people, which is not my speed, but beautiful, beautiful area. I would definitely prefer to be there than where I grew up at, but it was really eye-opening, brought back a lot of memories, a lot of times that I shared growing up on those streets. I was fortunate enough to grow and live a life, because growing up in Inglewood, you never dreamed, you wouldn't even dare dream about living in the suburbs. That was just not happening. You from Inglewood, you die in Inglewood. I mean, there's generations, 4, 5, 6 generations that still live there, that still live in the same house, that still run the streets, and live with no hope. That's the downside of Inglewood. But it teaches you a lot of valuable lessons, loyalty, trust, being a man of your word, which once I moved out here, I found out finding people that's a man of their words is, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. It's not the kind of guys that I grew up with. They definitely they definitely lived by a different creed than what I see today. My son was able to be raised in a nice house, not having to dodge bullets when he leaves out, not worried about getting jumped on, getting beat up, any of that, which was a part of my life. That was just the way it was. So I was happy I could provide him with that. you know, it's just different. It's really, really different. You don't hear the gunshot. You don't get to see the beat down. It has its issues, but Homewood is a very, very nice suburb, and we spent a lot of money to be there. But I wouldn't change a thing for the world. So being there, driving from up north to back out to the south suburbs was a very long drive. My stepson apartment is approximately an hour, 10 minutes from us with no traffic. So, but in leaving the north side and seeing Lakeshore and then driving south and seeing the exits 55th, 57th, 59th, the areas where I grew up at was a very jarring memories. And I definitely appreciate my upbringing. I really do. I wouldn't change it for anything. So that was my encounter over the weekend. Oh, the speaker, boring as shit. I would have enjoyed watching paint dry or grass grow better. But I'm glad I did it. Glad I went and saw it, and glad I got to experience, because I probably haven't been out back in the city in a very long time. So I got to see parts where I didn't grow up, and actually drive past parts that I did grow up, and to gather all it in and to experience all that. And it was just a great time to remember back, flashback, and just how we grew up. It reminded me so much of my cousin, who grew up more like my brother. It did bring tears to my eyes because I miss him so much. But we grew up 71st, dreaming of the day that one day we won't be here. We won't live here. We won't live where it's so much poverty and so less hope and so much violence and so much murder. Seeing my first friend die at 9, 10 years old is those are memories that they change and alter the trajectory of your life forever. It's just a lot of things you don't get over. I had a lot of friends that didn't make it. When they tell you making it out the hood, only 2% make it out, they're not lying. You lose a lot of people, whether it be natural, whether it be murdered, whether it be strung out on drugs. You lose a lot of people growing up. And that's just a fact of life, but it is what it is. It's not a lot you could do to change it. And people nowadays hear so much news about the violence and the things that occur in Inglewood. It's nothing new. It's always been that way. It's just that we have access to social media now. It can't be dumbed down by the news. It can't be hidden. It can't be covered up. So it's a story that has to be told, because if the news don't tell it, social media will. So a lot of the things that people see today, it's nothing new, nothing at all. It's just how I grew up. The only difference is it's publicized a lot more because of the use of social media. So I just wanted to say I love my city. It's beautiful. All the things that are part of it just makes it that much more special. So it really came back to me what Chicago has meant to me since I've been a child. With all its ups and downs and flaws and things like that, It's a city that I love, that owns my heart, that I'll always be a part of as long as I live. So that was what I wanted to talk about in this podcast. It's really, just home. Inglewood is home. Chicago is home. So if you have a home but you've moved and got your second home here or wherever, I just wanted to say, I love my home. Always have, always will. It's the greatest place in the world. So until next time, just dropping a simple little podcast from your man, Sir-Earl. Like I said, once again, it's a hard day. She just got the news that she lost her dad, which is really hard. She has a show next week. We're trying to stay focused and get ready for that. So until next time, it's your man. Check it out, saying I love my city. It's your boy, Sir-Earl. Peace.